which has ended, with both sides now claiming victory. Our Middle East editor, Jeremy Byrne, reports from Gaza.
First light in Gaza was not a new start. The conflict with Israel runs deep, but no airstrikes and time to reflect. Men from Islamic Jihad, which fought alongside Hamas, had no regrets. They paraded in Khan Yunis, one of Gaza's towns, to bury 9 men from their unit. They were killed in a strike on a tunnel on the 4th day of bombing. Hamas thought the tunnels were safe. Locating and hitting them from the air was a significant achievement for Israel. Thousands came to honor the dead men. Here in Gaza, as well as in Israel, there is no sense that they've come to the end of their fight. The bodies could only be recovered after the ceasefire. They're digging for others. High morale here will infuriate Israeli nationalist politicians. One said Israel had surrendered to terrorism.
This is a huge demonstration of support for the armed wing of Hamas, the Qassam brigades. And they're sending a message as well that despite the hammering they've taken from the Israelis, that they're still here, they're still ready to fight, and they're talking as well about Jerusalem. That's been the theme of many of the chants here in the cemetery.
And in Jerusalem, more violence between Palestinian worshippers and Israeli police at the AlAqsa mosque. The holy places in the city are charged with national as well as religious significance for Israelis and Palestinians.
Now, the Israelis are keeping a close eye on what's going on here. The whole time I've been standing here, I can hear a military drone in the air above, but I think they're pretty confident the ceasefire is going to hold. On the way down from Jerusalem, I could see them packing up their Iron Dome anti-missile system, at least from some of the batteries, and taking it away on a lorry. Now, southern Israel was absolutely paralyzed by the attacks, even though there was that big disparity in casualty levels. And here in Gaza, there's a lot of rebuilding to do. People have lost their homes. But as well as that, the militant groups will be rebuilding their smashed up positions, probably their tunnels, and most of all, their arsenals.
In Gaza, Hamas claimed victory, as Israel did too. The ceasefire stops the killing until the next time. It doesn't settle the conflict or even freeze it. But it has transformed Gaza's streets. The people are out of hiding. A day ago, going out could get you killed. Now, there's a chance to feel alive. Jeremy Byrne, BBC News, Gaza.
A little earlier I spoke to Rifat Al-Aria, who is an author and journalist who's in Gaza. He's been out and about in the last few hours, and I asked him to describe what he'd seen.
It's total destruction in so many areas of the Gaza Strip and the outskirts, mainly in Gaza City and the outskirts. I went to visit my family today in Judea, the eastern part of Gaza City at the border, and the devastation especially to infrastructure and to homes and buildings in certain areas is unprecedented. I'm not sure how many years this is going to be.
So we're talking about, how are we? We're talking about sewage plants, hospitals, schools, everything.
The reports, there are about 20 schools that were damaged. We speak about more than 15 clinics that were damaged. Some of them hugely damaged. Even Gaza's only COVID-19 testing center was also damaged largely. Hopefully it's going to be back soon on track. Sewage, water, fresh water, internet access, electricity lines have been damaged in so many areas.
You see, Israel says that Hamas deliberately destroyed some of the power cables to make it look as if Israel had done that. I mean, have you been able to find out what actually did happen there?
Yeah, of course, we know that the truth is always the opposite of what Israel says. Israel says Palestinian rockets kill Palestinians. Palestinians, but also Palestinian rockets kill Israelis, but also Palestinian rockets can easily be intercepted by the Iron Dome, which functions at 95%. So this cacophony of contradictions is what Israel...
Is it fair to say, though, is it fair to say that conditions in Gaza are worse under Hamas, because Hamas is using civilians as a shield to fire its rockets, and that people perhaps are frightened to criticize Hamas publicly?
We've heard this lie for many years from Israel, and it is a racist lie that Palestinians want their kids killed. And when Israel says this, it is trying to justify, to whitewash.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Palestinians want their children to be killed. What I'm saying is that are people in Gaza reluctant to criticize Hamas publicly for firing rockets out of civilian areas?
Hamas does not. No Palestinian movement fires rockets out of civilian areas. These, again, are Israeli fabrications and lies in order to justify the massacres. Today there was an American journalist who tweeted that Israel lied about a particular massacre, that Palestinian rockets destroyed this house, and the same journalist said we didn't see the same amount of structure in Israel from the Hamas rockets. So what Israel has been doing all the time is it kills Palestinians and it blames Palestinians for dying, and it tries to deflect the lies in order for people to just at least to confuse many of the people. But however, most of the people are currently not taking the news from Israel or from the mainstream media. They're mainly dependent on social media, which is also cracking down on Palestinian content, by the way. And Palestinians have done an amazing work, especially the activists and the journalists, to expose Israel, to show Israel for what it is, a racist apartheid regime that kills Palestinians, that kills children, as they slept in the safety of their homes.
Rafat Al-Ariya speaking to me a little earlier. Nigeria's chief of army